What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Savage Land. Welcome to another episode of The Field. And today on The Field, I have a figure that's been out for a while now. And, well, some people got them, and I know I just received them this week with a bunch of other Joes that came in. And it's Airborne. It's Franklin E. Talltree Airborne, a Native American G.I. Joe. And the cool thing about him, he just doesn't have that classical, hypocritical rifle with arrows and all other types of stuff that they put with Spirit, man. He's just a regular guy. He just happens to be Indian. But I don't know too much about Airborne. I will say this. In the era of G.I. Joe, there's different generations of G.I. Joe. And he's part of that early generation. My generation, I would say I'm part of more of the late 80s, early 90s. Generation, the generation that went from, okay, they're getting a little bit more deeper than your average green shirt G.I. Joe to, okay, now these motherfuckers is wearing neon. Okay, so that's pretty much my era of G.I. Joe. This is before me. So what I'll do, I'll read a quick Wikipedia synopsis of Airborne. And it says, Airborne is a fictional character from the G.I. Joe Real American Hero toy line. That's what the ARA means, the ARAH. Comic books and animated series. He's the G.I. Joe team's helicopter assault trooper and debuted in 1983. So he doesn't parachute out of a helicopter, which you cannot do. He out of a helicopter, an assault trooper that comes down on a ladder or a rope and pretty much rescue or get in there and get in tight areas that assault helicopters can get into, like ocean rescue or on the side of a mountain. And from what I've seen, he's Wild Bill's pretty much co-pilot, basically, man. And it also says his real name is Franklin E. Talltree. His birthplace is the Navajo. So he's a Navajo Indian on the reservation in Arizona. He's an E5, a sergeant, and an airborne infantryman, helicopter gunship gunner. So basically a co-pilot. And I will say with this figure here, I like the way this thing looks. I love the aesthetic on it. Like I said, for me not to have any familiarity with Airborne, when everybody was screaming Airborne, Airborne last year with the Dragonfly, I had no attachment to that character. I really didn't even kind of know what he looked like. Also with crazy legs too. I've heard these names before, but I have no attachment really to these guys. But that's why I said that's the beauty of Classified, when they start mixing up all the eras, the Deke, the green shirts, the original 13s. That's what I'm calling the green shirts. Most of them were just like OD green. And the neon era, the toxic era, you know, so all that crazy stuff. And with Classified, it makes you adapt and like all of them, man. And I really like this guy right here. I like his aesthetic. I am having a little bit of small problem with them, but nothing crazy. So we're gonna run it up just like how we do every other review here. I'm gonna start from top to bottom with all his gear on, then we'll strip him down, then we'll have a little bit of fun with him. Alright, so starting off with my boy Airborne here. He has a nice helmet. Kind of reminds me of the Valorverse helmet. As you can see, it's kind of camouflaged in. He has a pair of green goggles that looks like they have like a cover over them so that, you know, the lens won't get scratched up or anything like that. And I got them flipped backwards. In the front, like I said, it reminds me of Valorverse because he has the night vision with the port in. And I got them flipped up now. Of course, you can just take them out, port them downwards. I'll probably do that later on in the review, have them flipped the other way. And it's just like Valorverse, you just plug them in. Like I said, it's just one of those things, like if you get kind of a little too rough with them, hit them, they will come out of there. It's not like it snaps in, it just kind of pushes and plugs in. Let's make our way down here. Got a nice face sculpt. I almost want to call this guy a rock star, but he's not, because he's not like this wild flamboyant character, man. He's just kind of like got a stern face, but it looks good. Now this is the G.I. Joe real side, and I'll probably put a cartoon looking G.I. Joe up beside him and kind of start and kind of show the difference. And that's what I will do. I'll get some real looking Joes and some cartoon looking Joes, and I'll show you what I mean when I say this is the real side, cartoon side. And he has a real looking face. He looks like a real person, and that can get kind of eerie. As you can see here, he has Duke's backpack, which we talked a lot about yesterday in the Duke review. But I see his original toy has a backpack like this, but it's really not. They didn't copy Duke's backpack. It just looks like this. So, but they gave him Duke's backpack in this classified line. Let me back up a little bit so catching that ugly mole rat in the background. So kind of has like a caught him again. Kind of has like a blue vest, like an overlay over him, which looks really good. It's different. It's like a Carolina blue overlay. Has a grenade. Sculpted in. Of course, it doesn't come out. And what I really like is the different colors that they have going on. Let me get away from this mole rat. Yo, this stupid ugly jokers keep trying to catch my camera light. But I do like the different colors. It's like it has this light blue with the brown straps on there, and then it has the black grenade. Then it also has some silver hints in it. Almost look like the clip for the grenade. So they put a lot of love into that overlay, and I really like it. And that's, like I said, that's one of the things that stands out and makes him different. He doesn't just have this flat green look to him. He doesn't have this wild, outrageous look to him. Everything's kind of subtle and blends in, and using different colors that you usually kind of wouldn't see matched up together, man. But I think that's pretty cool. So let's go down his belt here. I like his straps, like his harnesses right here. And because he's a helicopter or somebody who's in the air, he kind of has like this little strap harness going around his legs and around his waist, which looks really good. And of course, attached to that, he has his gun holster. Gun holster has like a silencer on it or a suppressor that can go to his sidearm and also go to the submachine gun that he has in his hand. And I don't know if you can see, it has like a little skinny nozzle at the end. It plugs right onto that. Same thing with the small handgun there. Let's work our way down. I like this right here. I like that he has the small hints of brown on the knee pads. Everywhere it looks like pretty much on his outfit, it breaks up. And it has some different color just to show the contrast in him. And I don't know why this thing today wants to keep picking up these guys in the background. Now let's work our way down here. Just pretty much has some black boots. He's different from the other Joes because he has a jumpsuit on, so he doesn't have the laces showing on his boots. Pretty much the jumpsuit covers him, and being that he has that, he has what I call pretty much the sock cut. Okay, he has a cut right here at the bottom. And it's not a boot cut, it's a sock cut. It turns right there, and it works out really well. You have your ankle hinge and your ankle rocker down there, man. So good looking figure aesthetically. Like I said, it just uses different colors that you're really not used to seeing mashed up, like this blue and this OD green together, man. And he also has a knife on the chest with the knife sheath. Backpack doesn't carry everything, but he carries everything. Everything that comes with him is on him right now, even holding or in some type of holster or sheath. And for the backpack not carrying anything, that's pretty awesome, man. And backpack is just pretty much for deco. Has the nice brown paint. Like I said, no wash, just sculpting, and a black shovel, man, on there. So Airborne is a pretty good looking guy, man. I actually like this figure a lot. I actually liked him when I've seen him in the physical form, man, and he probably become one of my favorite Joes. All right, so we got him pretty much here with this gear off. I just kind of wanted to take the sidearm out and put that silencer on there, and then also want to take the knife out the sheath, and then also forgot to mention that around his neck he had a second set of goggles, which looks like it kind of has like a blue paint on the lenses there. I actually like them. I don't know if he wears them on his face like that because, like I said, I have no connection to this character. But when G.I. Joe Classified has some really good goggles, I always just like to put them on over the guy's eyes. But like I said, he has such a great face sculpt. You don't really want to do that all the time. They dropped the ball with the knife. It doesn't have any silver paint on it, on the blade or anything like that. It's one of those just black plastic knives, which is probably gonna stay in the sheath, man, which is cool, man. But they gave him paint in a lot of other places. Also, he has a patch on his arm there that looks pretty dope, man. We'll come in a little bit closer too, so we can kind of see that. But being that I got them kind of stripped down a little bit, I mean, you can just really see the colors on that vest. And I don't know why my camera wants to pick up these ugly people in the background, but look at those colors, the way they pop, man. That looks really good. I don't know if it's because he's an Indian. It kind of reminds me of maybe like some Arizona type colors with just the light blues, the browns. You know, if you ever been out west, it looks different from the East Coast. Like it kind of has colors like what he has on, man. Like I used to live in Colorado, and even though it's not the desert, it almost kind of reminded me of the high desert. They called it colorful Colorado because it just has some beautiful colors. When you come back east, everything looks like it's I wouldn't necessarily say in HD, but it's a lot of greenery over here. When you go out west, you come across a lot of browns, a lot of orange, a lot of red in the land. And I don't know, just what he has on just reminds me of that, man. But he's actually a dope figure. I actually might pick up a second one of him, even though I'm not collecting the men on card through the regular classified line. That's how much I like this guy. But what I don't like, which is not a horrible thing, his drop down legs just drop down really easy. But then on top of that, his knees and his legs got like some Valaverse shit going on, yo. Like they're kind of seized. So I'm gonna try to heat him up and try to get those worked out. But when I heat him up, the drop down legs drop down so easily, like they start feeling like kind of flimsy. I don't like that. I don't want to break him trying to work out his knees. But his knees like feel seized up, man, and I don't like that. It's almost kind of like two polar opposites at one time, and it's working it almost against the playability of what I got going on. But I'm gonna give it a little time, man, and try to get his legs worked out. I usually don't come across that with Joe's, but both his knees are locked up, and I just really have to work them out to try to get them to bend, man. But overall, man, he's a good looking character aesthetically. Alright, so what I wanted to do here was team him up with Spirit and just kind of see how these guys look together. And they look dope. You see here I kit bashed the Spirit. I finally put me some Tiger Force Duke pants on Spirit, man, to get that Tony the Tiger. I call that his Tony the Tiger look because of that blue shirt. It reminds me of that blue Frosted Flakes box. And of course, these are the perfect Tiger Stripe fatigues with Duke's pants. Like I said, they'll go down in history, man. But Spirit was already a great figure with a good looking face sculpt, very stern, very Native American, but very stereotypical. With the ponytails, the braids, which hey, look, I'm black. We wear braids. We got stereotypical shit that we do too, along with white people and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just like overly stereotypical. Like they gave him a rifle back in the day with fucking arrows and shit, man. Like that's not even real. But this guy right here is just a regular airman, and he looks Native American. He looks like he's from Arizona. He's got a short, regular haircut. He doesn't have to have two ponytails with a braid. He doesn't have to have an eagle for a pet or anything like that. Shit, he grew up in Tucson. Nah, I'm just playing. Like he grew up but he say he's born on a reservation, but he looks like just an Indian descent, man. Like he could have grown up in the city, man. Like I say, I'm country, but I don't know shit about cows and horses. Okay, so don't try to put me in a box about that. You know what I'm saying? But he just looks great, man. He looks great. He's good. He fits the bill of a regular guy trying to come to work and do his job, but he looks like a Native American with the facial features that they gave him. Let's go in a little bit closer and look at these guys' faces. But yes, they look good. They look good. They look like they could be almost related. Just the way they did the features, because like I said, Spirit, even though he's hypocritical, he's still is more of a traditional looking Native American. And like I said, they did a great job with Airborne, man. Yo, shout out to the classified team, and they crushed almost everything that they do, man, to be quite honest with you, man. We'll go down, we'll do a little scroll down with them too, even though they're not the same figure, but just kind of see how these guys match up to each other. I know I'm cheating a little bit because I got a kit bashed Spirit here, but the colors still look good. These guys look awesome together, man. That's dope. That's dope. And we'll see what I'm saying. Like, he's a little bit different. Everybody's boots, pants are usually tucked into their boots, and that's an army thing. But he's an airman, so his flight suit is over his boots, which is pretty dope. I can't wait to do some adventures with these guys. This is fire. So as classified grows, the playability grows. And I'm glad I got the Tiger Force bike. I actually like it. It actually grew on me. At first I didn't understand it, but then it grew on me. But then I'm glad I got the green bikes from back in the day too. And like I said, as the line grows, the playability grows. Now look how good the Tiger Force bike looks up against the green bike. Now look how good both figures look on the bike. And like I said, your playability straight expands. I don't believe, I wouldn't say, some people just didn't believe this line could get this good or expand this much to where you got characters like Airborne. Now I have 2 Native American army men. Now I have 2 ram cycles who are totally different. Then you got a black one that's coming. Okay, so that means my playability is growing. And like even with this shot right here, I don't have to do too much, and I could do a picture of this, and it's dope, man. And like I said, that's what makes this line fun: the versatility and the playability. So right here we got him and Spirit side by side, ready to rock and roll. But basically, I'm just showing you that he has a green helmet on with those goggles flipped down. I really can't get him over his eyes like that. I might have to adjust and move around the helmet. But also you see he has the silencer or suppressor piece on the end of his firearm. And yes, that assault rifle, that machine gun, that small machine gun, yes, it is gummy. But there's no need to reason even to ask that anymore. We all know G.I. Joe weapons are shit. And be honest with you, Spirit's gun is not as necessarily hard as a Valorverse weapon, but he is one of the last figures to actually have like a hard like gun, like where it's not really bent. Now of course it's plastic, it might warp a little bit on that barrel, but it came straight. All you have to do is heat it up a little bit, and that gun is good to go. He's like one of the last group of figures to have those hard accessories. And one more thing, like these goggles looks like they have like the cover or padding over them. I believe that was something that came with the original, but I put them on the helmet like this. Like I said, he comes with an option of another set of goggles, which I like the ones that actually go over his eyes. But helmet, I like it. I think the helmet is cool, man. It's nice and pliable. Fits right on his head, man. And like I said, all together, I think this is a pretty dope figure. Very plain, very in the pocket, very G.I. Joe. Early G.I. Joe at that. Alright. So last but not least, I always kind of want to show this. Okay, G.I. Joe Classified is split between 2 different styles. You got a cartoon style, and then you have a realistic style. Okay? Now, I got 3 apiece up here. And if you agree with me, cool. If not, that's cool. But this is just what I think. Now, Airborne, Major Blood, and Rock and Roll. They're all lined up beside each other. That's more of a real like type look. These look like real people. Major Blood looks real. Rock and Roll looks like a real guy. Airborne looks like a real guy. Now, on the cartoon side, which I just received the Retro Duke yesterday, these guys' faces look good too, but they just look more cartoony. They don't look like real people. Okay, so we got Clutch, who looks really good, but he looks like a cartoon. Shipwreck, who looks really good, but he just more has a cartoony face. He looks like my man who played Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, but it's in a cartoon form. And we also have a Retro Card Duke that doesn't look like a real guy. So Clutch, Shipwreck, and Retro Card Duke, they look great, but they look cartoony. Rock and Roll, Airborne, and Major Blood, they look like real guys. All good looking figures, but Classified is split between that cartoonly look or realistic look. And that's just what I've noticed over the past couple years. But all great figures. All great figures, all great face sculpts, to be honest with you. So there you have it, folks. Franklin Airborne Talltree here. I like this figure. I think it's very in the pocket as far as a classic G.I. Joe. Like I said, I have no attachment to this man whatsoever, but figure impressed me, man. I don't see any flaws with him, and to be quite honest with you, the more I moved him around, his legs are getting worked out even more. They don't feel so stiff. I just got to get with him and play with him, man. Like I said, pretty much same articulation as any other G.I. Joe Classified. Of course, with the hab crunch area, that'll be a little bit hindered with that overlay over it. But other than that, man, I've had a good time. I've got a lot of great ideas for messing around with him. I like that he has the real face sculpt, kind of more on the real side, man, and just a solid figure. And Classified continues to knock it out of the park. But we're gonna wrap it up with that, man. No need to gloat over this figure anymore. If you're interested in it, I would say pick it up, man. I think I'm gonna pick up a double of him. I think he'll be great for when the Dragonfly comes. I almost forgot the name of it. When the Dragonfly comes, he'll be great to go with that helicopter crew. And I think he's a great figure. But this is a Savage Land. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. G.I. Joe Classified, Native Americans who are not set up in a stereotypical way, just really coming to work, putting on his airman uniform, and that's what he is, another soldier, not just some standout that you have in a hypocritical uniform. So this is Franklin, Airborne, Talltree. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless. And if you want, you can hit me up on my Instagram at Geppetto910. Peace.